Everybody, this is Sean from ARVR Magazine, and I wanted to talk to you today about something new from Mozilla called A-Frame. And what A-Frame is basically it's a open source framework for allowing web designers to include web virtual reality elements within simple HTML. And the best way to sort of clarify that is to show you in a minute, so I'll show you an example. But now, Mozilla, who makes Netscape, has been developing, or they've been working on bringing virtual reality to the web browser for a couple years now, and they've been doing a lot of work. And just a couple days ago, they launched A-Frame, and basically what it does is allows people who aren't that skilled in creating complex WebGL 3D elements in virtual reality. It allows them to basically, it sort of wraps these elements in simple HTML elements and allows you to just embed it into simple HTML code. So you can basically build a simple virtual reality web browsing experience with just HTML. And if you look here, I have the website pulled up, and I assume this animation here is probably done with the A-frame coding. But as you can click through some of these examples here, get you a better idea of what what A-frame is all about, really. And so you can basically just take simple HTML and you can build these 3D elements. Notice there is a little icon down here in the corner, which if you click it while looking through a mobile browser, it'll split the screen into two so that you can view it using some sort of virtual reality headset. So basically click through and you can kind of see some of the examples that they have here, and it's pretty cool. I mean, this is all working in the browser. You can scroll around, you can see it. You have some 360 video that it can load here. Some different, some of the typical types of elements that you would be using in virtual reality, and they're just running in the browser using HTML. And so these are just some mock-ups of some screenshots, I think, that sort of wrap around you in a curved display. Notice there's a pointer in the middle. This is pretty. You can build spheres and fog, basically. So notice this fog is just basically coming in as an HTML call. Again, I'll show you that in a minute. And they had this sort of shopping feature here with this 3D spinning character, some kind of scanned model, and then some sort of, I don't know if this is like a virtual shop or like a, an Amazon type thing. But there's all kinds of different elements here that basically they're just simple HTML calling WebGL through some JavaScript. And so let me show you this so you can get a better idea, and then we'll kind of go into where this could potentially go. So I'm going to pull up Text Wrangler here, and notice I have a very simple piece of code here, very simple HTML code. So basically I just have a header, a title. I have a script right here which basically is calling in the A-frame script, JavaScript, and then header, body, and then the elements here, basically the custom elements are this A scene, which is basically the scene that you're looking at, and then it has a custom element for a cube. So basically this simple this simple HTML script will create a page that looks exactly like, let me grab it off my desktop here. Drag this into the browser and you can see that simple piece of code will make this cube right here. It's just scroll back and forth. And notice if I click on this in my mobile browser, it'll split it into two screens. And just by, I went and I tweaked a little bit. I'm not a super coding genius or anything, so I just went in and kind of copy and pasted some different things and added a little bit of things. So basically I added a fog element to the scene here. I had some color, some distance. I added some position and some coloring and some size to the cube, and I added a sphere as well and a color background for the sky. So basically this simple piece of HTML code is accessing this A-frame code in the background off the server, and if I load it into browser, it looks like this. So I have my fog in the background, I have the position and the size of these elements, and I can scroll around. And I show you an iPhone that's plugged in here, and you can get an idea of what this looks like. So I have this HTML page loaded up on my server. So I'm going to go in and access this really quick. So refresh. So this is pulling that HTML right off the server. And notice if I click this little icon right here, it splits it into two. And so now I can basically just load this in my Google Cardboard or whatever virtual reality headset that I have, and I can look at this in VR. And it's that easy to just take this simple piece of code here using A-frame and create your own virtual reality scenes. And what I think is most interesting about this is not that you can make a few cubes and a few pieces of fog floating around in virtual reality, but imagine having websites now that can actually be seen in 3D. And in some of the new devices such as the Gear VR, you can access a website through a browser in VR, which is basically just a browser in a box floating out at a distance from you. But imagine creating elements in HTML that will make your website a 3D environment, allow it to be viewed using a virtual reality device. Imagine maybe in the near future there could be, instead of a simple responsive WordPress template, what if we have A-frame WordPress templates? So you load up your blog and it's a virtual reality scene. I think there's a lot of potential that's going to happen here, and I think we're going to start seeing a lot of these sort of virtual reality elements embedded into websites, and websites that are created in virtual reality using simple code. And I also think that in the near future, these WYSIWYG website editors such as Dreamweaver or whatever, where you edit code and you can kind of see the design as you build it. Imagine a WYSIWYG editor that allows you to build a VR scene and load it in a browser. I think we're going to start seeing these types of things, and I think it's really going to start changing the whole, the whole sort of framework approach of how we view and how we develop websites in the future. And I think a lot of really cool things are going to start happening. I mean, of course, we're in the infancy right now. I can pull up this website on my phone and look at some cubes, but I think pretty soon we're going to have some pretty cool stuff happening here, and I think it's really something to watch. I think as Google came out in the past couple years with web components that were sort of these responsive building blocks for the web and for mobile, I think combined with something like A-frame or some other variation of that, I think that's going to take the sort of componentized web, if that's a word, component. I think that's going to take web development to a whole new level, and I think we're going to start seeing a whole sort of new paradigm in what a website actually is. So I wanted to show you this. It's pretty cool. It's just coming out. It's it's very basic. There's some if you go to the website, you'll notice that let me go to the docs here in A-frame. There's a complete tutorial, shows you how to do things, basic scripting, some basic ways to change some of the primitives, some of the core pieces here. One of the examples they have here that doesn't do much is, I believe it's, where is it? Animation. So animation and interaction, these are going to be some things that we're going to start seeing soon in terms of, how you'll be able to, look and change elements in the browser and actually, click on things and make things change. And so I think that's when we're really, very quickly going to start seeing some interactive web 3D elements or VR elements. But again, this is some cool stuff, and I don't even think we quite grasp where this is going to go, and it's just in its infancy. So the future is bright. Some cool things are happening, and if you have any questions about this, or any ideas, or maybe some suggestions in terms of where you see this is going, leave me a comment on the YouTube or on my blog and let me know. I have a lot of other videos planned, but this is pretty big. I think this kind of these sort of these code related releases kind of sneak out and they don't really hit the mainstream, but you know, this is a big thing, and it's really something we should really pay attention to. So again, enjoy, go to A-Frame and start playing around a little bit and experiment, and let me know what you think. Bye.